Following up on the um, question by Senator Murkowski, why is not the replacement of the firefighting and pine beetle problem offset by the acquisition funds? Why is that not a good idea?
Well, Senator, our request with land acquisition and also for our legacy program for conservation easements, first of all, it reflects from what we're hearing from the public to acquire these relatively small parcels of land that are key inholdings, not only to ensure that the public has access to be able to get up onto the national forest, but it also just reduces the amount of boundary location we have to deal with. It eliminates the problem that if we want to go out and do a timber sale, we no longer have to go out there and spend a lot of time citing that boundary. We can just go ahead and treat the whole area. And so our land acquisition program, almost in every case, it actually reduces our administration costs. It gives us more flexibility. And then, as you well know, as there's more and more interest on the national forest for more people to get out there and recreate, the private landowners sometimes get tired of those impacts. And so we continue to see more and more private landowners want to close their lands so that the public can't get to the national forests. So this program is focused on being able to also acquire those key access points, and this is always from willing sellers. And we have people lined up for both the acquisition programs and also for the conservation easements.
Good. Chief Tidwell, the reserve accounts established under the Flame Act have been operating for several years now, with the goal of preventing the practice of fire borrowing to cover costs associated with wildfires. By late last year, the Forest Service had to transfer money from non-fire accounts to pay for fire suppression. Are the flame reserve accounts not operating as they were intended? Can we expect to see additional transfers this year if we experience another high-cost fire season?
From my view, the Flame Act has not had the success that I think we were all hoping for a variety of reasons. And so like last year, we had to transfer $440 million. To put that in perspective, over the last 10 years, we've transferred $2.7 billion. In addition to, to that, as to what we're looking at for this fire season, and we're predicting a similar fire season to last year, and so in all likelihood, we're going to have to end up transferring a similar amount of money if we have the same level of fire season. We're hoping that it moderates, but we're going to be prepared for a similar fire season to last year, and so at this point, I can anticipate coming back up here asking for your approval to be able to transfer the funds.
The Forest Service restoration strategy calls for increasing the pace and scale of restoration in the national forests. What specific steps has the Forest Service taken since the restoration strategy was published in February 2012 to increase efficiency implementing NEPA and timber sale and stewardship contracts? To what extent will those increased efficiencies be able to offset the reduction in funding from the sequester?
Well, Senator, I'll start with using the project there on the Black Hills with that adaptive EIS that covered the 248,000 acres. One document that positions that for us to be able to go forward and do the work. That demonstrates how we can be more efficient in our NEPA processes. The second thing that we're going to continue to work on, we put our new rule out with the objection process, and so that we've replaced our old appeals process with an objection process that I think also provides better opportunity for the public to be able to participate in our project development. that also it will speed up the decision-making on that. The other thing, we're working with all of our regions across the country to be able to maximize efficiencies as to how we do our cell prep. We used to spend a lot of time marking individual trees, and we got a lot of parts of this country today that those trees don't have a lot of value, but they need to be harvested. And so we're changing the way that we do some of our cell prep to continue to be able to reduce our costs. These are the sort of things that we've been working on to be able to continue to accelerate the pace, basically without asking for more money. The other thing is stewardship contracting. It is the right tool, especially when we're dealing with some of our forests where we need to remove a lot of the smaller diameter material that doesn't have a lot of value. We can do that through a stewardship contract to be able to use the value of the merchantable material to offset the cost of removing the smaller diameter stuff. We can't do that with a timber sale contract. So a stewardship contract is just another essential way for us to be able to continue to, accelerate our restoration.
Thank you, Chief Tidwell. My time has expired.